I was hooked. I'm talking no self-control. I'm talking powerless and enslaved by my own desires. What am I talking about here? I'm talking about sugar, right? The undercover drug that's hidden in everything these days. I was so addicted to sugar. Today I'm going to tell you how I overcame my sugar addiction and how I transformed my relationship to food. Welcome back to another episode of Self-Mastery with Usman Ali. That is me. I'm a yoga-based life coach, and one of the things that I coach people with in particular is food relationship. Now, I've had a history with the matter, and that's why I feel credible enough to help others with this in their lives now, because it's a serious issue. You see, it's a serious thing. Sugar addiction is intense. It got to a point in my life where I was so addicted that I couldn't be at the train station with 10 minutes to wait without going into a shop and getting some chocolate and eating it to fill the time. Do you know what I'm saying? If there was a small window of time, and this is after years of practicing regular meditation, I was still meditating at this time. But in those moments where I was so possessed by craving, I needed to fill any window of time, anything that felt like a void or a vacuum in space. I needed to fill it. And this was intense. Okay, so how did I overcome this? That's what I'm going to discuss in this video. If you're into these videos, you love this content, you enjoy it, then please subscribe and like the video. And be sure to comment throughout, okay? If you're listening to this via some kind of podcasting app, then what you can do instead of leaving a comment is leave a review, and that would be absolutely amazing. 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and soon Google Podcasts. That is how you can support me and getting this information out to as many people as possible best. So, how did it all begin? Let's see. Let's see. Where did it begin? Where did I start finding myself freeing up? I started finding myself freeing up from the addiction of sugar. It was when I started to think deeper about my intentions for health, right? So a lot of us have goals around health, and those goals are oftentimes weight loss goals. Let's just be honest. It's physical oriented goals, you know, focusing on the body, how the body looks, the shape of the body, the size of the body, the weight of the body, very physically focused, okay? My invitation, my request, my proposition to you is to deepen your intentions, because these shallow level intentions of wanting to lose weight, wanting to look a certain way or look like other people, right? Or to simply just watch the number on the scales go down. These goals aren't sustainable. It's like kind of like watching paint dry. Do you know what I mean? The growth goes unnoticed. The progress is unnoticed. It takes a while, you know, and of course some people take this approach and it works for them. I'm saying this is what worked for me, and this is what I recommend, and this is what I also help other people do themselves through one-to-one coaching. Set deeper goals. You know, sugar addiction, right? Let's talk about the downside to sugar addiction. Weight gain it's something that happens, but it's definitely not the worst part of the suffering. The worst part of sugar addiction is, for me, it was the lack of control. It was the lack of self-control. I felt enslaved. I felt completely powerless to my own desires. Fully enslaved by my desires. Now, what does that do to one's self-esteem? Obviously, it cuts it in 10 pieces. Do you know what I mean? And burns it. Self-esteem for me went down, right? Which is why that period of time was very much connected with a period of depression, feeling very low, feeling very existential about life, and just not feeling very good, right? So my happiness was being sacrificed. My happiness was being traded. That matters a lot because it got to the point where for me, I got so depressed through this cycle of sugar addiction that I just didn't want to live. And sounds kind of crazy, but this is real. Many people deal with thoughts like this and they don't speak about them. They don't say anything about them because they're ashamed. But this channel is all about self-mastery, and that means to be authentic, to be true, and to be fully honest. Okay, that is strength in my eyes. So I didn't want to live. These were the thoughts that I was having. It was that bad. I couldn't see any beauty in life. I felt very blind. I felt very tired. So energy was also down. So these are these were able to fuel some real deeper goals for me. The pain gives us a direction. The pain is a teacher. The pain is there to show us where we're going wrong, and also to open us to the idea that maybe we can see another way. Maybe we can set a goal to overcome this, right? So the pain is a teacher. Deeper goals were created, and so I started valuing energy more than anything. I started valuing appetite for life more than anything. When I wake up and I feel like I want to live, this, compared to what I have experienced in the past, is bliss. And so overcoming sugar addiction, this is a great way to start on that journey, is to start focusing on things that matter more to you than the number on the scales, than the weight loss, than the physical appearance. Things that really matter to you if you were to be truly honest with yourself. Okay, if you were to be truly honest with yourself, how are you trading those things that you value so much, that mean so much, that maybe you're taking for granted? How are you trading those things for this addiction, right? Because that addiction is costing you more than just gaining some extra weight, all right? So that's number one, setting deeper goals and intentions. I recommend non-physical goals, goals that you can't look at, you can't point at, right? You can't really quantify confidence. Do you know what I mean? But that's a great goal, that you want to be confident in your body, you want to be confident in your health, you want to be confident in yourself, right? And that comes with overcoming such addictions, comes with transforming food relationship. It comes. Having goals like being a person who exemplifies health and happiness, health and inner peace, right? To be someone that exemplifies this, that radiates it, that touches everyone with a spark of goodness, right? To feel good, simply to feel good. This is a great goal. I want to feel good. I want to feel good about myself. I want to feel good about my life. You get the point about deeper goals, right? So let's move on. Second thing that I started to incorporate, and I guess I was always doing this, this is part of the puzzle, right? And this is mindful eating, right? Now, I say I was always doing this. That's totally not true. When I would binge, and I mean I would binge, to give you some context, I would eat like a 4-pack of Snickers like that at a train station if there was 5 minutes to wait, 10 minutes to wait. I would eat big Easter eggs during the Easter period every day. Big Easter eggs. I'm talking 15-pound Easter eggs, right? My family don't really know about it in this detail. People don't really know about it in this detail. So I'm letting you in. Guys, I'm letting you in right now. If you feel me, tell me that you feel me. Because I'm feeling this. I'm feeling this topic. I'm feeling you. and we're in this together. Okay, so let's create a support group. You know, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can comment and share what's going on in your life, or share what you're going to do about it. Share if this content is helping and inspiring you, because we can create a support group right here in the comment section. We can create a support group right here where we're all encouraging one another, and we're like, yo, you're doing amazing, keep it up. Hey, I was struggling with that too, right? You're not alone. And community is super powerful for helping you in your transformation. So comment below with some love, with your story, your experience, your challenges, and let's help one another. Okay? Mindful eating, number 2. This is beautiful. You see, you might find yourself eating in a way that is completely mindless, especially when it's things that we think we shouldn't be eating, especially when it's things that we feel guilty and ashamed for, right? So if you're binging on sugar or snacks or junk food, whatever it is, right? You're most likely going to go into an automatic mode where you're just consuming mindlessly, very fast as well. It's very fast. So slow down. Slow down. Even when you're eating foods that are unhealthy, that's the label that we want to use, whatever. Do you know what I mean? I'm not here to judge. Even when we're consuming these foods like chocolates and, you know, crisps and all kinds of stuff that don't really serve the human body and a state of health, eat slowly, pay attention. Pay attention. Take your time, chew well, smell the food, the chocolate. Maybe it smells amazing. Maybe this makes the experience even better. You know, something you get out of this video is just how to make chocolate taste better. Then totally take that away from this video. But here's the thing that'll happen. You might smell the chocolate and it smells so good. You might smell the sugary treat, whatever it is, cinnamon, all of that. It smells so good. And then you bite it, and it might taste so good. And you really tune into your senses. You're really practicing mindfulness whilst you're eating, which just simply means to pay attention on purpose, without judgment. So from a place of non-judgment. So here's the key. You taste it, you eat some. It tastes absolutely amazing, but you're paying attention without judgment, from a place of non-judgment, from a place of non-preference. Now, what does that mean? It means that you actually notice the negatives about it too. There are positives and there are negatives to consuming this thing. Maybe you eat it and then you start to notice a lot of thoughts around guilt, a lot of feelings of shame and guilt, and you notice this as you're eating it. Obviously, the more present you are, the less you'll have these intrusive thoughts coming in. But these thoughts might be actually tied into the theme of abusing food and abusing sugar. So they could very much be intertwined with that whole cycle. And so you pay attention whilst you're eating. You start to experience these negative thoughts and feelings, these painful thoughts and feelings. You observe them objectively, so they're no longer negative, they just are, right? And then maybe you start to experience some mucus or a scratchy feeling in the back of your throat, or your nose starts running a little bit, or your belly feels a little bit uncomfortable. You'll start to notice these things. Maybe you notice that your energy goes right up to your head when you have sugar. Your energy goes right up, and you start to feel a bit like in your head, a bit anxious. You know what I mean? A bit dehydrated. A bit too fast, a bit too like electric, because that's what this refined sugar's like. Do you know what I mean? So pay attention to the positives and the negatives of this food that you've been binge eating on or been addicted to. Take your time with it. And this is a really kind of paradoxical approach, because not many people speak of such things. You know, this is a concept that is different than the standard approach of just cut out the substance. I'm telling you to continue eating the substance, continue, but do it with such awareness that you can see yourself doing it. You can witness yourself. You don't fall asleep. You don't fall into a state of waking sleep, right? You don't fall into that. You are present, and so you notice what feels good about it and what doesn't feel good about it. And then, the more and more awareness you cultivate, the more and more honest you can be about the food choices that you want to make. The more awareness you'll be able to have of the food timeline, how you feel before, craving, need it, how you feel during, guilty, dissatisfied, maybe comforted for a second. How do you feel after? More guilt, shame, craving more, dissatisfied, sick, tired, anxious. You become aware of this timeline by applying mindfulness before, during, and after your meal. Really immersing the experience of it. Your meal. What do I mean? When you're snacking out, that ain't no meal. Do you know what I'm saying? You pay attention to that timeline, it will dramatically change your relationship with food. It will empower you because you'll be able to see the truth. Right? Cravings aren't true. Cravings tell lies. Cravings say, hey, I'm here with no disguise. Sorry, I just wanted to rhyme. Not sorry. Not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Cravings lie. Okay? They lie. And so they will convince you that this is what you need, but it doesn't feel the way that you think it's going to feel. And so applying mindfulness, cultivating awareness around the timeline of eating food, you will become aware that you're not satisfied. You will become aware of everything that's good and bad about that experience and that thing that you're using as a crutch and as a distraction from life. Right? Been there. No judgment here. Been there. Comment being there if you've been there. Right? Let's move on to number 3, and it ties in perfectly with this food timeline that I'm speaking about here. Keep a log of your internal dialogue, right? An internal dialogue log. How about that for original? Notice the thoughts and the feelings that arise before or during this craving. Notice what is actually going on within the internal dialogue, because what you'll find is that there are split personalities going on. There are different people within you, different parts of the psyche, right? Different characters. I call it the inner tribe, right? And creating a life of lasting health and happiness and joy and inner peace, it's about cultivating peace within this inner tribe. If you've got different parts of you that are conflicting and fighting with one another every single day, you're going to get exhausted. You're going to feel tired, right? You're going to feel very tired and depleted, and also very scattered and divided. You know, you might find it very hard to make decisions if you're experiencing sugar addiction or a poor, suboptimal, escapist relationship with food. No other way to put it. Do you know what I mean? So creating harmony within these voices is key, and the crucial step in doing that is becoming aware of these inner voices. So you might have the devil and the angel, for example, right? You might have the wolf and the good wolf and the whatever wolf, the bad wolf, if that's what you want to call it, the temptress and the number one fan. You know, he's like, you can do it, man, you can do it. And there's another one that's just like, eat it, go do it. You've had a hard day, you've had a tough time, you're struggling at the moment, do it, go and sympathize and sloth and get yourself that big bar of chocolate, go home, set up, have the setup, get comfy all in bed with Netflix or some games or something, and eat those sweet treats. You see, these are the voices within our minds that are saying these things. This is the split. This is the internal dialogue, nonetheless. And so if you keep a track of this internal dialogue, and I mean literally, pen to paper, you sit there before you eat that thing. I know this is going to be a bit tough, but hey, you've dug yourself into hell. You've got to climb out, and it's going to take a little bit of effort. Okay, you're not in this alone. You're not in this alone. Trust me. But if you want to get out of this, you're going to have to exert a little bit of effort. And that means get your pen and paper. That means just before you're about to eat this thing, notice, become aware, stop. Right? Pause. You'll notice the thought saying, I don't have time. No, I don't have time to do that. It's going to take too long to get the book, to get the pen and paper and start writing. Notice it. Right? You'll then notice the thought starts to arise, start trying to talk you out of eating the thing. Right? And then you start trying to talk yourself back into it. Write these thoughts down, literally as they're being spoken internally. Write them down, literally. Okay, so you're not writing down what you think about your thoughts. You're writing down the thoughts themselves as they appear. I shouldn't have this. I shouldn't be eating this. This was one that kept coming up for me. I shouldn't be eating this. This was as I was doing my dialogue, tracking my dialogue. Do you know what I'm saying? I used this. I didn't use the food dialogue to overcome sugar, but I used the food dialogue to overcome cheese addiction. This is another thing that I just got onto. Trust me, was eating far too much of it every day. So, food dialogue there, shouldn't be eating this. Yeah, but it's okay because it's Saturday. These are the thoughts. Oh, okay, go on then. This is the last one. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it starts to get funny. It starts to be funny. It stops being this self-torturing activity. And you start to see this voice. You start to see what's going on in there. You know what I mean? And you can joke about it. You can laugh about it. You can see it. You don't need to take it too serious. Just notice how conflicted you are. And write those thoughts. Notice how conflicted you've been. Because you're going to be ascending out of that. Trust me. If you're watching this video, you're on your way through. Okay? Make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel as well if you're feeling it. Alright? Just got to throw that in. So this internal dialogue is key. We are manifesting our lives unconsciously because we're not conscious of our internal dialogue. The voices within our minds, they're making choices for us. They're battling with one another. They're convincing yes or convincing no. But ultimately we make our choices from this internal dialogue unconsciously. That means we're in a state of waking sleep. That means we're in a state of being automatic. That means you put the food, the chocolate into your mouth. You've already eaten the whole bar before you realised that you opened the damn packet. Do you know what I'm saying? That you already finished 4 and you're like, what? I didn't even start enjoying it. Didn't even get started. And 4 Snickers are gone? Nah, that's too much. Do you know what I'm saying? So keep this dialogue, and I would love for you to contact me directly and let me know how you experience the benefits of that or any of these things that I mentioned so far. Right? So just a little peek at the notes here. What have we got? Rational fasting. This is an interesting one, right? Those 3 main tips that I've given you, those 3, to recap, they are having deeper goals, setting deeper goals, mindful eating, so you can tell the positive and the negative that come with it, and keeping a log of the internal dialogue. I don't know why I enjoy saying that so much, but an internal dialogue log, keeping that is number 3. So those 3 they will be enough for now. Do you know what I mean? You don't need to fill your head with 10 different ideas, but I'm going to give you a few different things just in case you want to know them, all right? So start with any of those 3. I'd say start with 1. Maybe just start eating more mindfully. Maybe just start paying attention to your internal dialogue and taking notes on it. Maybe just start reflecting on your goals and your values and how long you've wanted to be, how long you've valued losing weight, how long you've wanted to lose weight and that's been your goal and you've never got there. Because wanting to lose weight influences your food psychology so much that you end up eating sugar out of feeling bad about yourself and then gaining more weight, right? So it's not a sustainable approach, in my opinion. Set deeper goals, non-physical goals. Make it for the soul. Make it for humanity. Be healthy for humanity. Be healthy for your family. Be healthy so you can have energy to enjoy the day. Do you know what I'm saying? So you can create, so you can have energy to be creative. Get some creative projects going. Start writing. Start playing music. Start making videos. Whatever it is. So let's move on to these extra tips, extra pieces of guidance for overcoming a sugar addiction. Rational fasting is powerful. I wouldn't recommend fasting for people that are really struggling with food relationship, that might use fasting as a punishment. But I will tell you this, if you are struggling with food addiction, if you can get yourself to a place, maybe using these first 3 tips that I've given you, if you can get to a place where you're developing a reasonably healthy relationship with food, you're making some improvements, you can have a good few days of healthy consumption and you feel good about yourself, then it's a good time to do a fast, right? This is a rational way about going about fasting. You don't want to be consuming all kinds of junk food and then using fasting as a punishment, starving yourself to then break your fast with chocolate bars. Do you know what I'm saying? Or to then pick up the bad habit again. It's not sustainable. Once again, we're going for long-term results here. Okay? So rational fasting requires a beginning, a starting, a preparation. Right? You give your body healthy foods and a healthier lifestyle for at least 3 days or so, and then you have a full 24-hour period with no food and just water. Just good quality water, mineral water, spring water, preferably not the tap water. Do your own, you question that's okay, whatever. I haven't drank tap water for about 2 years now. I'm very happy with that, maybe 3 years. I enjoy the spring water that I drink. I don't enjoy the tap water. I can smell it now. I know that it's tap water by the smell. I taste it for a second, I gotta spit it out. Okay? Just my experience. So rational fasting will give you a break from these addictive habits, and it will also help to reset your cravings. There's a neurotransmitter in the brain, dopamine. I don't know too much about the neuroscience. I know bits and bobs, but I won't class myself as expert in that field to be speaking about it in depth. But let's just say that the dopamine gets reset. I hope that's good terminology. Your dopamine gets reset. And basically, you this whole kind of reward system that gets hacked by addictive behaviors, it gets a little bit of time to rest. So we do have a reward system within our brains. We enjoy things, we feel good about things, and we pursue things in order to get that enjoyment, right? We go out of our way to do things so that we feel good. Now, when we live in a society where we can just have an instant hit of dopamine by taking out a chocolate bar and eating it, instead of having to milk the cows, get the cacao, grind it all up, do all of that process, and then you've got the chocolate, then you get the dopamine. after all of that process, now it's like a very short time. So we live in a society that is built on instant gratification. It loves instant gratification, giving us what we want now, instantly. This is what rational fasting helps to reverse. If you go a whole day without food and you're just drinking water, all of your cravings get weakened. All of them. It is so powerful to fast. And so after 24 hours, meaning you go the whole day and then the next morning you break your fast with some nice melon or some nice fruit or bone broth. You know, this is something I'd recommend to break fast with. You'll just feel so much more in control, so much more zen, right? Providing you break the fast properly as well. Now, fasting's a whole other topic. I'm going to go into that in another video. But if you've got any questions, please ask. The thing is I don't want to discuss it right now because it goes way deeper. You see, breaking fast is also something that you've got to consider doing properly. If you break your fast with a binge, this ain't healthy. It's not sustainable. It's just a seesaw going in between extremes. So rational fasting, right? It's in the name. I'm not just saying fasting. I'm saying rational fasting. You break your fast in a healthy way. You prepare for your fast in a healthy way, right? Another little tip that I'd love to give you today. Don't know where that accent came from, but enjoy it. Positive action. Positive action. And this is the final of the main tips I'm going to give you today. Positive action. This literally had a massive effect on my sugar addiction at the time. I don't have a sugar addiction no more. You know, it's been years, literally. Actually, no, tell a lie. It's been a long time. I do remember the last time I had sugar now. It was New Year, which was about 3 months ago. And I had a little bit and my body reacted very badly to it. But before that, I'd been a whole year. I thought I could be a little bit cheeky. So I had some sugar and my body just really hated it. And so, yeah, I don't consume that stuff anymore. I don't feel like it. I don't want it. I don't crave it. I don't desire it. And this is really the place that you want to get to. You want to get to a place where you don't desire it. You don't even want it. It's not pulling at your brain all day. It's not manipulating you all day. You know, you've got your life back. Oh, finally, I can focus on something else. I can live a life without craving 24/7, right? Because that is not peaceful. It's not a good quality life. Been there, right? So, positive action. During the time of my sugar addiction, I was actually quite newly a yoga instructor. And so I was teaching yoga classes and I didn't want to be feeling sick with a belly full of Snickers bars and Twixes and white chocolate and all of that stuff. I didn't want to be sick with that whilst going and teaching people yoga. And so positive action, this gave me time, windows of time where I was free from this craving. It was all day long. Guys, have I painted the picture accurately? It was all day long. Craving all day long. So these were breaks within the day. You know, an hour, 2 hours, maybe 3 hours where I was teaching and then traveling between jobs and stuff. It was great. And then maybe I'd go climbing, do some bouldering, which would be another few hours. And so this is all time that is spent in the direction of my health and happiness, right? It's positive action. And it's given me freedom from sitting there with these cravings and just be an absolute victim to them. You know, mindfulness and meditation are so powerful, but in the beginning phases, that is like a demon possession. You know, sugar addiction, it can feel uncontrollable. Addiction in general, uncontrollable. Literally, I don't have a choice. That's what it can feel like. I can't help myself. I don't know what to do. That's literally how it can feel. I'm laughing because sugar addiction isn't taken seriously. And I was there and it's a pretty serious thing. it's a very serious thing to consider. Here are some examples of positive action, just a bit of inspiration of things that you can do in your life that might help. Take a walk, call your friends and speak to them. Spend time with people, right? Open up and have some deep conversations with people about what you've been going through. Because that is going to be one of the most powerful things that you can do for yourself, okay? Book a free call with me, if there's something that you want to take positive action in the direction of transforming your relationship with food and overcoming sugar addiction. Book a free call with me. You want to do that? Follow me on Instagram at Usman Ali Yoga, link in the description. Maybe it's on screen. And send me a DM. Shoot me a direct message. Trust me, I'll get back to you and we can speak. Positive action. What are some other examples? Doing a bit of exercise is good. Meditation and mindfulness. Maybe a bit of breath work. These are great things. Volunteer, right? Volunteer. Go and do something good for the community. Go and do something good for someone. Work on a project. Get a part-time job if you haven't got one already, right? Draw, paint, dance, sing. Learn an instrument. Tons of things, right? So many things that we can do to bring more positive action into our lives. So many amazing things that we can do to take space from the never-ending craving that comes with sugar addiction. And so if you've got sugar addiction, if you're experiencing addiction to sugar, I invite you to admit it. First of all, just take a look, admit it. It's okay. And to be honest, right? Start the support group off. Start it here. Open up. It's okay. Human beings, we're so hesitant to open up because we've been hurt in the past or we're distrustful now and whatever it might be. But really, there are so many people that are supportive, and in this space I'm inviting support only. So offensive things, that ain't welcome. Do you know what I'm saying? But I don't even feel like I need to say that. I'm just welcoming goodness. And so that's what this space is for. That is what this space is for. So if you're watching this on YouTube, get in the comments section and start talking. And if anyone if no one else responds, I'll respond to you because I've been through this. And we can talk, we can jam. It's all good. Sugar-free jam. Bear in mind, sugar-free. Sugar-free, when you see this on labels and stuff, it's oftentimes just a big lie. It's just a big illusion. There's something else that they've put in there to make it super sweet. And that thing isn't good for the body, nervous system, mind, and everything else either. So sugar-free, I'd say just avoid this stuff altogether. So positive action, this was just absolutely amazing. Have things in your life that mean something to you. Have things in your life. I am so fortunate that I had some jobs going on while I was teaching. I had a few classes that were going on each week. So that gave me time to create space from this clutch, right? From the clutch of craving. So those are some tips. Those are some tips for you that I've taken from my direct experience with overcoming sugar addiction and transforming my relationship with food that was extremely abusive. Okay, I was eating myself into the ground. I was eating myself into despair, trying to run away from life. And now I'm feeling funky. I'm feeling funky. And it's all good. It's all good. This is a journey. It takes time. So just start with one of those things. Don't worry about trying it all, right? And I've got a few little bonus tips for you that I want to offer. Very short, very quick, very easy and simple, if not obvious. And that is to just make sure you get proper sleep, right? Go to bed, I'd say before 11 o'clock at night, if you're dealing with a sugar addiction or a food addiction, because the chances are if you stay up later than that, you're going to stay up until 3 a.m. eating chocolate, and that has an effect, right? That has a big domino effect. Not to give you any more feelings of guilt about it, but it does. Do you know what I'm saying? So if you get to bed by 11, you prevent that nighttime feast, that nighttime binge. You prevent it from happening. Wow, how amazing. And then you feel more energetic in the morning, and you're not going to be eating sugar to energize you, right? Second bonus tip is stay hydrated. Drink around 6 to 8 glasses of water a day, or whatever feels right for you, right? And eat a lot of watery foods, especially in the beginning of the day. Start the day with fruit, for example, if that feels right for you, and if that's in line with what your body thrives on. If that makes your body suffer, then of course don't do it. But stay hydrated either way. And if you're not eating the wet foods, drink plenty of water. Right? This will help you. This will help you. A lot of the time, we're eating because we're dehydrated. We don't realize we're dehydrated. We think we need food, but we really need water. So this is a little hack almost. You can almost hack your cravings by just drinking a glass of water. It's like the craving goes away. I hope this video was helpful. I hope this podcast was helpful if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or Google Podcasts. I hope you've enjoyed this journey with me. You know, I was low. I've said enough about that. I don't need to go there anymore. All I need to say is that I'm wishing you the very best. And I'd love for you to share this video with someone that you know that might benefit, because we gotta come together. We gotta get this information out there. And what I mean by information, I mean just addressing these issues of sugar addiction, food relationship, poor food relationship, addressing these topics now, talking about them now, sharing this information now, because it's something that's very live. And in my opinion, it is within the foundation of living a happy and healthy life. If you've got weight loss goals and you haven't been able to achieve them ever, or you haven't been able to keep them consistently, and you keep seesawing from, you know, overweight to underweight or whatever it might be, one extreme to the other, one lifestyle to another lifestyle, one body to another body, if you keep experiencing that, just look at your food relationship, right? Just look at your relationship to food. It's usually the relationship to food that first gets lost, or that first goes downhill, and then everything else follows. And here's the thing. Our society is built on giving us so many opportunities to go downhill on our relationship to food. There is chocolate and sugar assigned to dates and times that just they shouldn't be assigned to. For example, Easter has nothing to do with chocolate, but it's all over it. Christmas has nothing to do with chocolates and sweets, but it's all over it. Valentine's Day, whatever the occasion, it's like the world or society, not Earth in her beauty. This society, you know, and I'm not hating on society either, I'm just saying the facts. It's structured in a way that says, hey, you've got many opportunities to fall off course every single year. Occasion after occasion after occasion. And on every one of these occasions, you're going to celebrate with sugar. That's messed up. That's not right. I say we celebrate with health. I say we celebrate with taking a walk in nature. I say we celebrate by singing songs and hugging each other. How about that? How about we celebrate with healthy food? How about we learn to make beautiful, delicious desserts that are completely free of all artificial sweeteners and are sweetened only with dates and bananas and natural things? Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to cut this episode there. I'm going to finish and conclude this episode there. And I hope it has benefited you. Okay? Sugar warriors. Overcoming this is a journey. It takes some time. If this video or podcast helped you, leave a a comment on YouTube, subscribe on YouTube, hit the notification bell so you know when other episodes come out, and like the video. It's a massive help. It's the only help really that most of yous will do, and so go ahead and do that. It's the least that you can do. Thank you in advance. If you listen to this on any podcast app, if you enjoyed this episode and it was helpful, boom, leave a review. That is a massive help, and that means that other people can find this. That means that they can benefit too. Just imagine all the people in the world that are struggling with this today. You're not alone. Don't think that for a second, right? Don't believe that for a second. You're not alone. Have faith. There are so many people in the world that are struggling with this. And me, the guy that's talking to you now, you can see that someone's come out on the other side. So, hey, hallelujah, faith. You can see me and know that, hey, it's possible for me not to be enslaved by my desires like I was. Do you get me? So, we're in this together. I'm loving you and I'm leaving you with strength, with liberty, with freedom and faith. SLFMASTERY.com. If you'd like to support me, in another way, and there is another way, you can leave donations. This podcast now requires me to give it a little bit of juice each month, give it a little bit of funds each month to keep it live. Check out the link in the description or the notes of this episode of the podcast. You'll see that there's a link there, PayPal me /Usman the Human, right? That's USMAN the Human, all one word, after paypal.me / and leave a donation of any size. It's all good, baby, it's all good. This has been Self Mastery with Usman Ali, and it's been a pleasure to give you guys some more content. Much love, and we'll speak soon.